Uche happens to be the pioneer head of human resources at the Development Bank of Nigeria. She has worked for over 7 years there. And before joining DBN, she was the head of human resource business partnering and head culture and internal communications at Access Bank. She's a seasoned people and culture management expert with over 20 years of experience in several leading organizations. Uche is passionate about helping individuals become the very best versions of themselves, enabling them to bring greater value to their work and non-relationships. She enjoys meeting people, traveling, and sharing knowledge. Welcome, Uche.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
We have Kunle Onobote. Kunle happens to be the head of human resources at Optimus Bank, a seasoned business leader and human resources management expert with over 2 decades of professional experience in the banking sector, spanning over financial control, treasury operations, human resources, and treasury. Before joining Optimus Bank as head of human resources, he held key roles at NBC International Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, and the Union Bank of Nigeria, where he led strategic talent management initiatives to align HR activities and business objectives. Welcome, Kunle. Moving on, we've got—
Good morning, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Moving on, we've got Tolu Dyer-Peters. Tolu is the head of human resources at SunTrust Bank, a seasoned HR leader with over 23 years of experience in the banking sector, specializing in business partnering and employee engagement, as well as talent management and leadership development. Before assuming her current role, Tolulope's career spanned across Standard Trust Bank, Bond Bank, and Polaris Bank, where she held key roles in HR leadership. Thank you, Tolu. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Moving on, we've got joining us as well, Adetunji Raphael. Tunji Raphael is a seasoned HR leader with over 15 years of experience spanning telecoms, manufacturing, energy and power, and as well as fintech. He's currently with Fair Money, where he holds the role of people partner, a strong advocate of the progressive HR leadership. Adetunji is passionate about innovating HR practices. Beyond HR, Adetunji is an expert in software development lifecycle called the SDLC, and as well as business process improvements and engineering, where he led major projects. Welcome, Tunji.
Good morning, everyone.
Moving on, we've got Florence Ne George Amekumo. Florence is a PhD holder and a thought leader in work and organizational strategy. With over 19 years of professional experience, she presently works with the Nigeria Governors Forum. Prior to that current role, Florence has worked with key organizations in various sectors, such as Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas, Accenture, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, as well as the Central Bank of Nigeria. Beyond those roles, Florence is deeply committed to mentoring, coaching, and philanthropy. In her leisure time, she engages in various physical exercises, particularly dance fitness and mindfulness yoga. And she enjoys listening to music across different forms. Florence is an ardent supporter of the less privileged children, providing care and support to different orphanages. Welcome, Florence.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
And then we have Tolulope Ogundipe. Tolulope Ogundipe is a distinguished Nigerian banking executive, consultant, and leader with a remarkable career spanning several years in various aspects of the banking and financial services sector. He presently serves as the group head, banking and services at the Premium Trust Bank. Tolulope's commitment to leadership and societal impact extends beyond the banking sector. He was a key member of the team that handled the integration and merger of the 5 banks into Sky Bank that we have today. His role in this merger laid the foundation for a career marked by leadership in banking operations and business strategy. He's the first vice chairman of the Committee of the Heads of Banking Operations, and has held leadership roles in several organizations. He is a past president of the Obafemi Awolowo University Accounting Alumni Association, and the Rotary Club of Falomo Ikoyi. Welcome to Loko Gudigbe.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. And last but not the least, we've got Olabisi Ajala, an accomplished human capital leader and workforce strategist. Presently works as the human capital manager at Rand Merchant Bank, bringing over 14 years of expertise in talent management, organizational development, and workforce strategy. Before joining RMB, she held senior HR leadership roles at Coronation Merchant Bank, Polaris Bank as well, where she successfully managed large-scale HR transformation projects, leadership development programs, and talent retention strategies. A thought leader in HR strategy, talent management, and workplace transformation, Olabisi is a sought-after speaker, mentor, and advocate for women in leadership and professional growth. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Tolu. Welcome, Bisi.
Thank you very much, Vivian. Thank you, Vivian.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So we'll go right in. We're here to talk about and discuss with everyone, as well as our audience, on HR in the digital era, shaping the future of work in the banking sector. So I'll talk about the brief of the discussion. We all understand the fast-paced and technology-driven world, the significant transformation the banking sector is undergoing here in Nigeria. The digital era has ushered in quite a number of new opportunities, complexities, and challenges that the bank is facing. And so in order for the bank to be able to adapt to all these new challenges, we understand that the HR departments must have to evolve in getting this technology in place, okay? The power of technology has enhanced productivity and has fostered a culture that attracts and retains top talent. With the Nigerian banking industry becoming increasingly digital, the HR professionals are tasked with adapting to new technological trends, improving employee experiences, and ensuring that organizational culture aligns with modern digital workflows. So we'll be asking a few questions here, and I'll throw my first question. The spotlight goes to Florence. Florence, can you please share your thoughts and tell us on how digital transformation has impacted the HR departments in Nigeria's banking sector? And what are the key trends that you've observed?
Thank you very much, Vivian, for that question. The digital transformation has fundamentally reshaped HR in the Nigerian banking sector. It's driven automation, it's driven data decisions, it's also enhanced employee experiences. For instance, we've got remote and hybrid work models, which is part of a digital transformation, where we have more banks that are adopting flexible work structures with digital collaborative tools, like Teams, Zooms. And, if you can cast your mind back to when we had COVID and a lot of us had to work from home, that's just one of the effects of the digital transformation, whereby we still had to function, even though, globally there was a shutdown, So I think that has also impacted how HR departments in the Nigerian banking sector has been transacting their businesses on a day-to-day basis. Also, skill development as well. We've got digital learning now. You can learn on the go. There's so many applications that you can have handy with you that the HR units have been using to replace the traditional training models whereby we have to go into a structured environment to go sit down and learn. Now on the move in traffic, you can always log into your training session and have access to various tools that can enhance your work. Another thing I would also talk about is the HR process that is being automated. We now have cloud-based HR systems that are helping to streamline payroll, leave management, employee onboarding, a couple of other areas as well, that this digital transformation in the HR space has enhanced the way things have been done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Florence. That was quite brilliant. And truly, yes, well, the digital era has transformed a lot of things for us. which has kind of made everything quite seamless. Thank you. Would BC please share more thoughts on this? What have you observed, these trends in your bank currently? Thank you.
I think that Florence said everything that you could think of how HR has changed in the last few years and how tech in HR. I mean, even things as simple as getting your making requests for your letters of introduction. Now we're doing it.
Oh, it looks like BC is not there again.
Oh, can you
Hello,
hear
BC?
me?
Yes, we can, but you've frozen. It's back
Oh,
on.
apologies. Okay, so I was
It's
just
okay.
saying that Florence basically said everything, but the truth is technology has made HR easier. There are some processes that we've automated. I was giving an example of making a request for a letter of introduction. Once you sign into the website, the fields are pre-populated, signature comes out, letter is out. So it takes away a lot of day-to-day manual activity because this thing is already automated. So these changes have made life easier for us as HR practitioners, but it's also giving us the opportunity to improve, make better, reduce our turnaround time, make better decisions because we now have data to tell. And even in learning, I find that technology and learning has made it so amazing. Targeted learning, using AI to teach, using videos to teach, cross-border learning. So yeah, technology and digital transformation has definitely impacted how we do things, and it's also greatly improved how we do things in HR and in Nigerian banking sector generally. Yes.
Thank you very much, BC. So you would say that things have been quite seamless working with your colleagues in HR department. It's so easy, plug and play, right?
It's plug and play. Oh. Some things are so easy to do, and some things you don't really need to think. You don't need to start typing again. It's fantastic. It's not that it doesn't have its own challenges. I mean, just now we had that small brief downtime on the network, but yeah, for the most of it, it's more of a blessing than a curse.
Oh, great, awesome. Thank you so much, BC. Thank you. So we'll have Tolulokwe Wudigbe. Would you please share more thoughts if you have anything else to say?
Okay, thank you very much, Vivian. I think I'll be speaking from the perspective of being a beneficiary of HR automation, because I don't head HR, but I make use of HR tools. I make use of, so what I've seen in the industry today is as easy as some of the processes in HR have been made so easy for us, the users, such that today, for new employee, for recruitment, you now have AI-powered recruitment tools for screening and shortlisting candidates for interviews. This helps to reduce hiring time. So for some of us that are recruitment managers, we have been AI has made life so easy for us in the industry today that we don't have to do physical interview, and even the selection process. We have tools now that are AI powered, that helps in to assist some of us that are busy executives, instead of what normally happened in those days, that they'll bring in their CVs, you have to do shortlisting, they have to meet with the direct hiring manager, they meet with the group head. But today, in Nigerian banking of today, AI is doing a lot in the area of recruitment, in the area of selection, right? And that has made the reduction, that has reduced the hiring time. Again, I have seen that in terms of payroll and benefit administration, there is an increasing automation day in, day out, such that our payrolls today are fully automated end to end. As a staff, as an employee of a bank, you can log into some AI powered portal in your bank. You can generate your pay slip. You can generate anything relating to your benefit. You can actually know what is due to you, what has been paid, what has not been paid. courtesy artificial intelligence that has been introduced into. So these are many more things that have been infused into the HR terrain, and that some of us that are direct beneficiaries, we are excited and we are always very happy seeing that these things can be done. For some of us that started banking many years back, comparing when we started and now, we have seen the impact of artificial intelligence in the HR space. So I think for me, a lot of transformation, a lot of digital transformation that has significantly reshaped the HR in the Nigerian banking sector has been put in place. And of course, like BC said, this has assisted in and having a data-driven decision making and also driving efficiency in that space. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such a great insight, Tolulokwe Ogunigbe. That's brilliant. I don't know if any of us has any other thing to say. Tunji, tell us. Do you want to add a few thoughts?
Okay, all right.
Okay, I think Conle, do you want to go? Okay, all right. So let me go.
Just go ahead, it's fine.
All right, thank you. You know, when we talk about the new, that's digital HR and what it used to be, what comes to mind, right? I think, so let me just start with, I think every panelist had touched on virtually everything, right? But what comes to mind is, you know, going to my dad's office then in the 80s and walking through his floor and then seeing an office labeled personnel management. And then you peered into the office, you see a lot of people standing in front of tables with some dusty files here and there. And, you know, people asking questions, hey, my document, my this, my that. That was some, in quote, some crazy sight to remember now, if I'm comparing that to what technology has helped us to achieve now. Today, we had all mentioned from recruitment using applicant tracking system, that end-to-end to onboarding of your new talent. You can do everything without even having to raise a piece of paper, right? Tolu also mentioned this. I think I just put everything into beautiful user experience at the end of the day and efficiency, optimum efficiency on the side of HR. And I will tell you, this is what digital transformation in HR has brought to us. Sincerely, it's a thing to embrace. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I can relate. You know, back in days when we would have to go, when we see the way things are back then and now, it amazes me. And I'm wondering what it would look like in many, many more years to come. Great. Thank you so much, Tunji. So, Uche, please, what do you have to say?
Okay.
Let's hear your thoughts and insights.
Yes, so my colleagues have spoken a lot about how, you know, digital transformation has impacted what we do in HR. Just to, you know, add my own bit to it is the shared change and shift in how HR can now deliver exceptional employee experience, you know, just by leveraging all of these disruptions that are going on in the digital space. So we are able, using machine learning, AI, and all of those tools available now, to actually curate, study, and design personalized experiences for our employees. And, you know, with this whole VUCA era that we're in now, a lot of the things that we see is employees are increasingly wanting more personalized attention, personalized experience. And we're able to deliver that using the tools that are now available for us. So in addition to what my colleagues have said, that's one of the areas that really hits me, you know. You can actually have personalized learning paths curated based on what you have learned about the needs of that particular employee. And you can actually have virtual learning assistants, chatbots, and all of that embedded in your training. And of course, employee engagement experiences as well, not just on the L&D side. So I would like to say, to add to the voices that have spoken on this panel, that yes, it's been an interesting journey, but we're just starting really. I won't say that we have even gone, halfway to understanding and also implementing and leveraging what opportunities that this era provides. So as HR community, we're just really starting into getting to understand all of these opportunities and actually bringing them to bear in what we can offer to people within our organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. So are you saying you're agreeing that AI and its digital transformation has come to stay?
Yes. Capital, yes. Why yeah. It has come to stay and it's evolving. So we expect to see more, in that space.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Moving on, let's have and hear from Tolu Lokwe, Dyer Peters.
Yes. Okay. I think, yes, everybody has mentioned, what digital transformation is doing right now. But I must mention that in the space of data analytics is very important. We're able to make decisions, take decisions, analyze, predict the future. You want to, you have a lot of data at your hand and you're able to analyze data to make informed decisions that will impact positively on your staff, which gives them the employee experience that they desire. We also can use it for predictive analysis as well. You're looking at your potential succession planning, looking at potential hires, looking at potential leaders. And this tool, this digital transformation tools that we have at our hands will help us make that right decision into training and developing the right leaders for the organization. Again, in terms of mental health, now where everybody is talking about being the remote work and all that, virtual work and all that, mental health is very important. And while we're looking at digital transformation, we must also ensure that our staff, have the right support with the right collaboration tools to be more productive at their jobs. So digital transformation has come to stay. And it's something that, like Uche said, is evolving and it's here to stay.
Thank you so much, Tolu. But it strikes me, I just want to mention one or two things. So in terms of what you said about the digital transformation and wellness, I'm a big fan of wellness because at the end of the day, we must be able to manage work-life balance, okay? In your organization today, how do you manage certain, how do you manage your staff as a whole? Now, let's take, for instance, hybrid. Florence mentioned hybrid. Yes, we work from home, we work from anywhere across. How do you tend to manage that digital transformation? For instance, some of your colleagues are at home. What if they don't have the right tools to work and then they've got to deliver on some certain projects? In what way have you supported your staff? Can you throw more light, please?
So there's been a lot of investment in work tools, in infrastructure, in collaboration tools. So, we're using Zoom right now. We're not there physically, and we're having this webinar. So that's one of the areas where we are able to invest in. We use Google Meet, we use Teams, we use Zoom. So those are there. And then, of course, IT support is very, very crucial. You may be at home, like BC had a glitch, and the network is off. So you have to provide the right support so people are able to meet their deliverables on time and effectively as well. And again, when you work remotely, sometimes the teams, you're not seeing people physically. So what we have done in my own organization is to ensure we have virtual teams. So you have mentoring, you have coaching. So in as much as you're not in the office, but you have a mentor, you have a team that you speak to virtually all the time, and then you can engage, you can connect. We have different support teams that we provided to the staff of the company to ensure that they have the right support. Of course, there are challenges that will come with digital transformation, working from home. Electricity may go off, network may go off. We've been having so many issues with telecoms right now in the recent times. So you must also put those things into consideration and ensure that the right support, give more time, where you have timelines to deliver on projects, you may need to put more consideration in the times that you give to your colleagues at work and ensure that they deliver within such times. So those are the supports that we've been able to provide for our own teams in SunTrust. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tolu. We'll move on to another question, and we'll start with Kule. So Kule, please, can you throw more light and share your thoughts on how HR leaders ensure that employee engagement and the well-being in an increasingly digital workplace, especially in an industry like the bank that is fast-paced and competitive right now? Kule? I think he says he will be in and out, so let's throw the question back to Tunji.
All right, thank you. So if I got that question right, is how are we catching up or trying to catch up with the pace? So I will tell you that I will just quickly give you an example from where I work currently. Currently, I have my workforce. In the workforce, I have about 27 different nationalities, right? So spread across. How have we been able to manage that, ensuring that we get over issues of deployment or implementation of digital policies, right? If I got the question right, having your people in different parts and then still being able to do all of this, okay. One of the things that we have deployed is to ensure that there is an avenue. Someone had mentioned earlier, I think that should be Tolu Peters, talking about collaboration tools. This is one major thing that we had made available to ensure that everyone is carried along in whatever it is that is happening. Now, we had noticed, because the business where I work currently, we have a lot of young people coming into the workforce, and something is typical to these young people. I know that we talk about different generations, right? You say these are Gen Zs and then I have realized that, yes, just at the tail end of the Gen Zs, we have some other set of young people who are coming into workforce what is motivating them is definitely different from what motivated us or is motivating the Gen Zs. And so we are looking at this set of people. You are thinking, you want to deploy tech. Trust me, these ones are digital nomads. They are natives. There is no amount of, I'm talking about HR now. There is no amount of what we had done in the past, as it were, that might measure up to what these guys are bringing in. Now, what are we doing as HR to ensure that these guys come in easily into the flow? We ensure that there are tools that get them in. We as HR people here in our spaces, we get up to trend. We are up to date. I had listened to a number of line managers who had said, oh, they have issues with this one. This one sits in Abuja, or this sits in Lebanon, or this sits in Ukraine or in Russia, and it's not delivering what and the question I'd asked is, see, you can't monitor easily. However, can you then deploy deliverables that can be measured? Can we measure these guys based on deliverables? I've had issues with people saying, oh, time, this guy does not show up on time. These are part of the things that we are grappling with, but we have found ways to manage this. And this is what we're doing. One, ensure there are tools ready for these people. Two, ensure that they have objectives that we can measure. Well, I will tell you that I have a lot of issues with traditional HR, and that's because a lot of us in HR would, maybe in the past, maybe till now, because I have a group of HR people that talk that they want to see their staff sitting in the office and doing things, getting things done. I said, if you really want to attract the new set of people coming into the workplace, allow them to work from anywhere, give them their deliverables, give them their objectives, measure them based on the objectives. And that's one of the things we are doing, regardless of where you are. I don't want to know if you are sleeping, but then you have a turnaround time to deliver this for me. Please deliver it. And in that way, I realized that we can attract people from anywhere, from any part of the world, as long as my deliverables are met. And for me, that's one of the ways we have been able to manage where people all around and then transiting into the digital world, the digital space. Like someone said, it's new. In fact, we have not seen the big things that are coming. Lots more that are coming, that then we need to buckle up and be ready to shift, move our chairs, move our tables to be able to fit into it and get the right talent on our team. Thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you
thank
so
you
much,
to for
Raphael.
bailing me out there. All right. So sorry. All right.
Okay.
So, but I think I heard
Do you want
when
to
Tunji was discussing something about employee engagement, how to get more from the employees, right, as regards engagement and I think well-being, if I heard it correctly. All right. Okay,
yes,
good.
Absolutely.
I think Tunji actually addressed it, and that was actually one point that struck me when he said something about traditional HR. Yeah, the way we've been doing things, right? And the new order of the day. I think the difficulty has been shifting into this new mode of work and the expectation from employees, what the employees expect. The traditional HR, just like Tunji mentioned, it's been what we feel the employees want, right? And that's what we're pushing out there. But there's a new order, right? And I think the critical thing, which part of the things that breathe of employee and the workers, how do you get them engaged? How do you, because the new way, the expectation is different. So how do you get that thing? What's it? Because one of the things for them is that they look out for is what is in need for me. If you don't identify that, what is in need for me, then no matter the best tool, and you know, as HR, we're used to just copying and pasting things sometimes. Yes, it works for Bank A. Bank A actually uses this in terms of engagement. These are the policy strategies and things they do. But you have to introspect and look at where you are, even where are we in this whole transformation era, because that's one of the critical things that we really need to measure. Where are we, so that you know, and what are have you done your analysis to like maybe an employee survey to even know and feel the pulse of the organization, to know what the needs are really are. And so how do you now, so that would really determine when so you just threw out okay, I think during COVID, post-COVID, even during COVID, a number of people had not used most of these collaboration tools before. It was the first time, so it was difficult for them, you know, getting onto that, using some of those tools. So so part of the strategies, yeah, it's to first understand the employees that you have, and before you know what are the things that you want to really put out there. And there are other things apart from the collaboration tools in terms of the things to drive about the culture of the change in the organization. As in the change to go on this the AI thing. You understand that that's also one of the things that we need to look at, and also prioritize employee well-being, because everything we're doing, employee well-being is not so much about the money you pay. That's one of the things they're looking out for in terms of engagement, and also reward, because here the workforce we have today, you get more from them by recognizing what they've done, no matter how little, even from the little, not just as an organization, from the little teams, the units. You have to, you know, have that culture of recognition before you bring it out to the I think the bank-wide one you do. So reward and recognition is also part of the thing to use. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kule. I'll just ask one question there. I know that Tunji had talked about how those deliverables are supposed to be met. Can you please expatiate, Kule, now I'm talking to you. Can you please expatiate on how, you know, you measure these deliverables, you know, for this remote teams? You know, if some of your colleagues are working out of the office? How do you measure them?
So one way, critical way to measure remote is, and I think, was it Tolu that mentioned something about the virtual, just to be sure that there's presence in the first place, right? Because a number of times when you don't insist on, where people have to put on their camera, for example, you put it on and you're having meeting, some people, the time you call, that's when you notice that they're not even there. They put it on and they're somewhere else. So one of the things that we also insist on and emphasize on is having your camera on. That's just to show the presence first. And there's what you call the check-in meetings, right? So even when think about this flexible work thing, right? It's for different organizations, it comes in different forms, right? Even within the organization, the kind of flexible work arrangement for team A might be different from team B. You understand? That's the kind of one we practice, whereby it depends on the units, right? What they feel, because as a unit, you know how to, flex the kind of flexible work arrangement you want to with your team. So it can't be the general one, 2 days or 3 days on, no, but specific to the team. So one of the key things is having project-based, what I mean, it's having specific targets set out, because it will be unfair on the employee if there are no set targets and you're measuring based on something else. So first is the KPIs, which of course is well set out. First is maybe checking meetings that I mentioned. You must have, so if you have 4 or 5 days, there must be a time for check-in, maybe 1 in 2 days where you have check-in meetings and they are giving you feedback. So you're not waiting at the end of the week. There's that feedback, and there are reporting tools, forms that we also use, whereby you're giving a feedback through that form, and I can see in terms of the projects or things that have been assigned to you, how far you've gone, right? I can measure in terms of percentage work done, for example, which of course via the form, you can see in terms of percentage work done. So there's special tools for that, which can measure. So you're not waiting till the end. So even when you're not meeting within the time they're off, you're able to measure things like that. But first, most important, you must have set targets, right? So that you have things to measure at the end of the day using those tools. And of course, tools, make sure, because most of the time we expect, but we don't support, as in, are you sure they have the right tools at home? Are you sure you've given them what it is? Because you know how the economy is, in terms of the energy, supply, power supply. So are you supporting them with allowances to ensure that their gen is powered at every point? Do they have data allowance to show? So the tools, we have a commitment to that first, right? Before you demand on the deliverables also.
Thank you so much, Kule. Kule has said a lot. Thank
Sorry,
you.
can I quickly just add something to that?
Okay.
So there's something called productivity tracker. So at the beginning of the week, you already have your KPIs and you know your itinerary for the week, you know the tasks you're supposed to do for the week. So you input this on the productivity tracker. It measures what you do. So whether you're at home or you're at work, it helps you to measure. And at the end of the week, you can see if you've done 50% of your task, 70% of your task, the things you need to do again. And your supervisor has the access to it as well, so he's able to see. And like Kule said, you can have the weekly check-ins and monthly check-ins. So at the end of the day, you're able to measure yourself. You don't have to wait until the end of the period before you start appraising and knowing that the person has not delivered on their jobs or on the tasks that they have at hand.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tolu. So this productivity tracker, is it a software or is it an app?
The collaboration tools some of them have it. You can also use your Excel. We had that while I was in Polaris. One of our staff actually designed it, and we used it bank-wide because everybody was working from home during the COVID period. And it's something that some of the other apps, Microsoft Teams has it as well. So the collaboration tools has some of those accessibility to measure your productivity level.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry,
All right.
Vivian, if I may add, I think it's important because I heard when you asked if there was a special tool called productivity. I didn't want to mention the name we call it. That's why I said, oh, there's a tracking tool. What I think is also important is for HR to work closely with their IT team. There are many things, honestly, that you can develop. It's not necessary that you have to go out there and pick something on the shelf. And if you notice, there's no HR tool that your software that you buy, the information system off the shelf, that you don't do like majority of the work, because you have to sit with you and now get it to what you want. And I always wonder if they don't do this kind of work before they come, develop some of the things. So there's a lot that we can do in-house as HR. And I think one of the things I was going to say is that, in fact, in this our discussion, we should have invited an IT person so he could be part of it, so as we're discussing and speaking notes as well on some of the things and expectations, right? Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we'll move on to the third question. I'd like Olabisi to please share more light. What are some of the major challenges that HR leaders face when integrating digital strategies in the banking sector? And how can these challenges be overcome?
That's a very lovely one. So first of all, data privacy and security concerns. You always have to be careful when implementing any sort of technology to ensure that your systems are safe, because as much as we're working hard to improve ourselves, there are people too working hard to also destroy ourselves. So data privacy, security concerns, resistance to change. I've worked in different organizations and we've had different age groups in the workforce, and there are some people that no matter what you do, they will say, I cannot trust one computer, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. There are still some people right now in the industry that don't believe work from home is a thing. So resistance to change, upskilling and reskilling, people having to use new tools, people learning to use new tools. Off the top of my head, that's just what I can think of. But I think for me, the ideal thing is, of course, as much as you're innovating, you're also innovating your security, ensuring that people have the right security clearance they need, the right antivirus, whatever it is they need. That's why working hand in hand with IT to ensure your security. For people that are resistant to change, it's always, I've found that selling to people why they need to do things is easier. So once you start saying, I don't like this idea, but you start explaining to them how it benefits them. I'm going to give the example of once they removed that, they were able to cross-border recruit. So it means they had access to a wider pool. So once people start understanding that work from home does not mean I get to lie down in bed and I'm typing, it also means that for you, where you have not found a programmer to do this, you can now get a programmer that is in Saudi Arabia and is doing it for you. So explaining to people the benefits makes them more acceptable to change. And the last one is constant training. In my current place of work, they just introduced a new system, Workday, and there's just constant training, videos and emails, a repository of information, constant training, so people are constantly able to use these tools, understand how to use these tools, having champions on teams that tell you, oh, you have an issue, speak with this champion, and the person is able to guide you. For me, once you start thinking that, yes, there are issues, there will be issues, there will be concerns, but you also start putting in the solutions as well, then you find that people generally, they will agree eventually, shape in or shape out, basically.
Thank you so much, Bisi. Thank you for that. Uche, please, would you throw more lights? Let's hear from you, your thoughts and insights.
All right, thank you, Vivian. And I think Bisi has spoken very brilliantly on that. One of the challenges, again, is that of the skills gap itself, the digital skills itself, right? So attracting digital talents, retaining them. We all know that this set of talents, the experts in this field, who will then be the ones to also help you build those skills internally. It's pretty difficult to attract and retain them, particularly in Nigeria today, because of what everyone is experiencing in the economy. And, the quest for greener pastures, we talked about Jackpa, and someone said, oh, we're now seeing Jackpada. I don't know to what extent the Jackpada is happening, but, again, there's the constant, these skills are in top demand. So you're really not competing for these talents just with your local competitors, if I may use that word, or you are competing globally. So there are all manner of fronts at which you are competing, not just on the pay. And when you talk about the pay, someone gets offered something that is paid in dollars and he converts it to naira. In fact, what you're paying him becomes like, peanuts. So it's really a challenge, is one of the challenges. So again, she talked about resistance, of course, and she has, brilliantly enumerated some of the things that we can do to deal with that sort of resistance. But we have to keep upskilling and reskilling our people to also see how we can build the talents, without having to attract at a very high cost. How can you also build and upskill the talents that are in-house, providing those digital skills to, willing employees internally, who can learn even at their pace, because not everybody will catch up very quickly, but providing those digital platforms as well that people can on their own follow their own learning paths. I think one other challenge is even the quality of data that we have, right? Because, Nigeria, even the Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria, some of the data, that's why they find it difficult to even meet the data requirements. Sometimes you get some statistics and then you go to another platform, it's a different data set that you have reporting on the same thing. And so it's a problem. So even in our own organizations, because we haven't over time developed this culture of cleaning out our data, storing them in that certain way where the integrity and quality of the data can immediately seamlessly flow into some of these tools. So the challenge of having high quality data that can quickly be integrated for various analytics, even the analytical capabilities itself, having that capability for data analytics is also an area that, is a bit of a challenge as we proceed on this digital journey, digital transformation journey. So these are some of the things that I can think of right now. In addition to what BC has said, of course, security and compliance, we all have to comply. Right? We have regulation. We have also our own internal policies that have been developed, which rightly so championed by HR and the risk management to ensure that those policies are developed. But again, having to ensure that your data, the data and the personal data of your people that you've collected, which we are the custodians of as HR, that we ensure utmost security. These are some of the challenges. So I think that HR, we have to be at the forefront of even developing ourselves first and foremost to be there. We have to be the #1 champion. Like BC talked about, having those champions, the early adopters, as all of this technology are being brought into our organizations. Or everyone in HR has to also be one of those early adopters that actually champion it. And then we lead that change management, ensure that we're communicating effectively, and also ensure that we're not really overwhelming our people with, bombarding a lot of technology at the same time. So it's got to be well curated. It's got to be, well planned and well implemented. So these are my thoughts around the challenges that HR currently faces and some of the steps we can take in ensuring that we are where we need to be on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Uche. That was quite insightful. Thank you for the addition. Let's hear from Florence. What are your thoughts on this as well?
Okay, so BC had already, she pretty much ran through my thoughts already with regards to resistance to change. The thing is, some employees fear that automation will replace their jobs, and that's a wrong mindset, because again, technology is meant to enhance what we do. It's just like the pair of glasses that we're putting on. It enhances our sight. And so that's what technology does. And then we have different generations in the workplace. You know, we have at least 5 generations currently in the workplace. And so we need to be able to tailor these needs to meet each of these generations. With the older generations, the traditionalists who are used to printing stuff. Oh no, I need to have it printed. Oh no, I don't know how to, you know, go to this app and open it. And they need to be enlightened, you know, and that's where everybody is embracing this culture. If there's open communication about what technology does and how it's going to enhance what we do, I don't see anybody who would be resistant to that. And so when it comes to enlightening employees, it is better to tailor it to the needs of each of these generations, because again, HR pretty much has one size fits all approach. But I think we need to be able to narrow it down to suit each of the generations that we're trying to impact knowledge or change in the workspace. You know, and again, skill gap is also related to it. So for instance, if there's an older generation that is not used to, maybe for instance, logging into their profile to print a document using the shared forms, you can have training sessions for them and, you know, enhance their skills with regards to how to go around these technology tools. In my opinion, I also know that it is important to have our data to be well protected, because again, we have a lot of things on social media these days, even fictitious things that would come out and you would almost swear that it's real, you know. So I also think there's a concern with regards to data privacy. We must be able to enhance whatever tools that we are using, because pretty much our life is in space. And so we really don't want all our personal information to be out there. So HR should also look at the back end of how to secure the data that they have placed in the technology space. That would be my contribution.
Thank you so much, Florence. Looks like Tunji, do you have something to say?
Yes, yes, thank you. Now, I knew that someone mentioned change management and all of that. And, you know, the question that came to mind was, why do change management programs fail, especially when we want to, you know, deploy, if we want to migrate or move into digital HR? Why do we have issues? It's one of the answers, right? To say that, oh, one of the ways we can manage is deploying change management. Now, why do change management programs fail? I'd worked in fact, 2 places in my past life where we had tried to initiate something like this, and they had failed. And the answer is simple. Some of the things that we do, we just bring a framework that is used maybe in Harvard Business School or in one London Business School, and then we want to apply it here. It's a major challenge, and I think the solution is to look at the local environment where we want to deploy a change management strategy and ensure that we fit those things into it. We look at it side by side. What are the things that are acceptable or attainable or could be attainable in the UK? You can't carry that one from the UK and come and deploy directly here. So one of the things that happened is, you know, failure in the failure of change management and program or strategies is as a result of just carrying it and not directly using it or not using it in line with the local or whatever you have on ground. And again, I have noticed again that in that past life also, where we had implemented and it had worked, was as a result of understanding. People had talked about stakeholders. There are people we called, or we probably might not have officially identified them or named them that champions. Even amongst the people who might be your junior team members, they are actually highly influential. They can actually help you drive some of these changes. So is HR understanding these major stakeholders, these voices that might not be out there loud, but very loud in the midst of other workers, and get them to understand the advantages of these changes that we want to pull out or want to push out, and let them become the ambassadors to this in the midst of their people, And then you realize that it becomes easy to overcome the challenges that might come with trying to roll out some of these new strategies or these policies around digital migration, digital HR. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Sorry.
Tunji.
Vivian, can I also quickly add that the high cost of implementation is a challenge? Because you're doing a digital transformation project. The cost is enormous most times. So it's best to just face it out and look at the areas of priority, and you do it in gradation. So that way it's easy for the management to the buy-in, and then you're able to, when you bring in a solution and you're asking them to invest in it and they see the cost, it's usually a challenge for the HR managers. But when they see the justification at the end of the day and they see the reason why we need to do such, invest in such, then it makes it easier for us. So one of the challenges is the high cost of implementation of those digital tools.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think one more, we haven't called Tolulope Ogilipe. Please, do you have anything to share? You're currently the group head, banking services. What are the major challenges that you've come across? Tolulope Ogilipe.
I'm not sure he's here again.
Oh, really? Oh, I see.
Because I think he said he had another engagement as well. So
Okay.
he's running them concurrently.
Oh, okay. What about Kunle? Is Kunle there? Kunle is out as well.
Yes, I'm still with you. Sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think pretty much they've touched on it. But I think I'll just add that one thing is to match to all this thing that we're talking about in terms of the challenges, and it was good when Tunji touched on the change manual. We've been approaching things the same way. I think there's still that thing of not realizing that after COVID, a number of things have changed. So things are changing at a faster pace, but we're slow to catch up. We're still playing that catch up, right? So one thing is the buy-in from the leadership itself, right? There was a sort of a seminar that I attended recently, and it was all about cybersecurity. So the facilitator mentioned something that in one of the banks that they had the same cybersecurity, because they had it for the board. That it was like an eye-opening session where one of the board members actually mentioned that, oh, really? That it seemed the document that he was sending, but he just felt that it was just one of those documents. But now he has a better understanding of this thing that he's going to go back, even in his private business, that he's seen the document, it's been with him for like 3 weeks, but now he's going to sign it to the very day that's after the, and that's the thing. So first is that understanding from the leadership, and of course, once you have the buy-in, because it's hard for us to sell to the leadership sometimes, right? We say it at meetings, they also say, yes, we're going to do it. So in the strategy documents, everything is there. In fact, everything we need is in the strategy document, but the actual thing, there's disparity, right? So one of the challenges that we have is that having that buy-in sometimes, right? And there's so much now in the banking space because having to keep up with regulation, our regulators now, they are in fact, now you have to have an office for a regulator, right? So it's there in terms of compliance, and it's a major thing now for most banks. If you try to do a survey, you see banks now, the CBN has even gone, even like the fines have been, I don't know, maybe it's like 100%, more than 100%, maybe 500% in some instances. So just to tell you that this thing about the AI and all the things, we have to take it more serious, right? And so the challenges are there, but what are we doing as HR? That's the question. And are we taking it seriously?
Hey, thank you so much. I want to throw this question to Uche. Uche, you mentioned that deliberate actions should be taken to retain top talents. What should be the best approach to achieve this?
Okay, well, I mean, one of the speakers on this panel had earlier mentioned that, you need to actually find out what is going to work for your organization. And that's always been my approach to determining these things. Something that happens in the banking sector is, Bank A just increased salaries, and everybody is rushing to increase salaries. Maybe it's not salaries that your people want really right now. Everyone wants more money, but everyone always wants more money. So money may not really be the driver or the key driver to retention. So what we do is we run surveys, we frequently run the surveys internally to even feel the pulse. Because for instance, with what's going on in the economy now, maybe increasing someone's salary may not be the answer, because again, you have to then tax it. Maybe there are other benefits in kind that you can provide that would actually be more effective at retaining staff, for instance, that helps them reduce the burden, that has come upon their finances from buying fuel or just generating power, or commuting or things like that. So I would say that the starting point is to understand your people, understand what you currently offer, understand the environment that you currently offer, the work experience. So experience just sums it up. What sort of experience are we offering today, and what do people want? What do people want us to do better? And the only people that can tell us are people that are here experiencing what we currently have. And so when you look at that gap, sometimes it's not as expensive as we think to implement some of them. And you actually co-create these solutions with your people, and they feel that they are part of it and that they are valued. So for me, I would say, yes, it's good to just rush and say, these are some of the things to be done, but it's best to find out your unique people, your unique workforce, what is missing for them. Of course, generally, flexibility is the game now, because someone talked about different generations. Yes, I think it was Florence, of course. You have different generations, and different generations want different things, right? Different things motivate different generations. Even when you talk about this flexibility, totally going remote may not even serve everyone. Like there are still the people that thrive by socializing. There is a place for socialization in the workforce, and if you build a culture where you create that connection, right, and then everyone is now working from home, you would even have people falling sick, you would have people going into depression, you would have people feeling lonely because they have been drawing. Some people draw energy by socializing with colleagues at work. So it's finding the right fit for your people. It's given that flexibility, and don't say, this is one size fits all, just like Tunji had said earlier. Give options. Or if you want to work full-time virtually, this is it. But when we have these socialization activities, we'd like to see you. If you prefer to be coming to the office, this is it. If you want to do a hybrid. So if we can get to the point where we get the buying of all the approving authorities, and we can create those kind of experiences that give the power to the people, that flexibility, that ability to have options to choose from. That's where I see, HR winning with engagement, with retention. Of course, creating a learning organization, and an organization that has a culture of innovation is something that I also see. People want to be given that opportunity to innovate, and when you're fostering a growth mindset, you allow people to also experiment. You create that window where people experiment, where people can fail forward, right? Where you don't use a stick and kill someone because you tried something new and it didn't work. Then, we sort of clamp down on all the innovative juices and initiatives and ideas. They don't come forth again. They don't say it again. So it's a whole lot of things put together, but we must always put the employees at the center of designing all these initiatives, right? It's what they want, it's what works for them. I know you cannot just give every employee what they want, because then, but you can tailor it into different segments, right? Into, okay, if you want to use the generational approach, that's fine. There are other approaches to use, but just ensure that to the greater part, you're listening to people. People want to feel that they're being heard. We don't just run those surveys and then shove it inside our drawers, but we're actually taking action, and we're coming back to them to say, oh, you said this, we listened, this is what we've done in that regard, let's test it out and see whether it's working, and then we can move on. If there's a tweak to be done, we'll tweak it. So these are some of the things that I can speak to, that issue of retention, attracting and retaining top talent. Of course, our value propositions, make sure we have a strong employee value proposition. Do we know it? Do our people know it? Who crafted it? Is it HR that owns it? And how do we sell it when we are putting out those job vacancy advertisements and all that? And how do people perceive the brand? Because we must be the chief brand managers from HR. It's not just brand management department. We own the brand, because it's all about how the brand is perceived. That would help us, really. People would be seeking to join our organizations, and our people will be our greatest advocates. So the experience will create for them as well. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I'm sure that if some of your colleagues are listening on to you right now, they'll be like, wow, we want to work.
They are listening, actually, some of them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Uche. BC, do you have anything to share with this? How do you, what approaches would you use to retain top talent?
I don't want to echo and say she said it all, but yeah, one of the things everybody thinks is that money is the most important element, but she's also said that it's also the other additional value adds. It could even be sometimes people stay longer because of training or access to grants where they can get more training opportunities, access to continue professional development, even access to mentors in the workplace that can help them improve. Or sometimes it could just be the profile of the organization. But I know somebody that has not left an organization because she says whenever she tells people she works with a certain name, I would not mention it, it opens doors for her. So it's also communicating all the other value adds and ensuring that people have access to value add, and continuously refreshing your offerings so that you make sure that if you're competitive salary as well, you're competitive in other things as well. And then workplace, so cannot overemphasize how the workplace helps as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Tolu, do you want to add something as well?
Yes. Uche and BC have said it all, but I also had having an enabling environment. So that, when you prioritize your employees' well-being, it says a lot. Sometimes, like Uche said, may not be about the money, but you have a basket of welfare benefits that speaks to different segments of your employees. So when you have when you have created an enabling environment, the culture is right. You have the right type of people working with you. People enjoy coming to work, and then you create empowerment and autonomy. You give people interesting tasks and projects, and then you are able to recognize and reward them. Those are the things that also would attract and retain the kind of people that you want in the workspace. Prioritizing well-being, mental health is very important. So when you have an empathetic management and they go all out to ensure that your well-being is important to them, that goes beyond the monetary value of competitive salary. So those are the things I think can be added to the things that Uche and BC have spoken to.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tolu. Florence, do you want to add something before we wrap up and go to the next question?
Yes, I would love to add. With regards to opportunities, I would talk about the professional growth opportunities for employees. Within the period where I earned my 2 masters and my PhD, I was working, and there are some organizations that don't necessarily give you the money, but they're able to give you flexibility with regards to your work. You're able to combine going to school and also holding on to your position and still delivering. So within 8 years, I was able to accomplish all of these things with regards to my academics. And if I didn't have that opportunity or an organization that gave me that platform to make use of my time in a creative way, then that wouldn't have happened. I'm sure there are a couple of other Nigerians out there who are working but don't have the opportunity to be able to pursue other side hustles. When I talk about side hustles, I'm not saying earn another salary, but something to improve from your own purse, not necessarily even your employer sending you to some fancy school, So if these opportunities are there and staffs know that, oh, the leadership is giving us this opportunity, I think I need to leverage on it. It would boost their engagement. I mean, when they earn all of these degrees, they come back into the system and still, enhance the whole environment. And so when you're introducing your staff, you'll be like, oh, please meet Dr. This, that. If you're proud of that person, knowing fully well that you have contributed, it may not necessarily be financial, but with approvals to, oh, I have an exam, I need to go off and do this. And you know that that person is accountable to having time to do all of these things. I think the employees would rather want to be in such an organization. And then with regards to well-being, I cannot overemphasize how well-being is very, very important. As leaders, we must be able to emulate what we practice. I love to work out. And so I would not see another staff of mine who has that zeal to enhance their health, and then I would deprive the person of going. You can set up a gym in the office, or you can make some allowances available for your employees to have access to some hotels and go and work out. These things help. We're going through a lot as Nigerians. And so one of the ways you can avoid burnout in your employees or silent resignations, because you have people coming into the workspace every day, but mentally they've resigned. And so how do you keep them desirous to come in every morning? Is to look up for little perks here and there that would enhance their well-being. Set up somebody in the office that they can go talk to a psychologist or a mentor. It could just be, I need somebody to just give me a hug in the morning and tell me, you know what, you'll be fine. Whatever you're going through is okay. These are lit and they don't cost money. So sometimes it's not about the money. HR would look at the cost of things, but sometimes there's some things that just come effortlessly. Or you can be a supervisor, you're walking through the hall, you see somebody curled up somewhere, she's sad. Have a conversation with her. What do you like? Do you need a hug? Do you want 5 minutes? Do you need a break? Do you need to, there are a lot of things that we need to be creative about in the HR space that would enhance the well-being of our staff. And I think it's high time that we put these conversations out there and practice what we preach as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Florence. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we'll take one more last question that will be thrown to the panel, and then we'll take questions from our audience. So this goes to Tunji. For the near future, how do you foresee the role of HR evolving in the banking sector, particularly as it relates to embracing further advancement in technology and digital platforms? Tunji, very quickly, please.
All right. So what's the role? What do I see as the role of HR in embracing further growth, right? One of the things that we had mentioned would be to know what are the gaps that are here. We had mentioned earlier about tech gaps, right? HR should, of course, be able to identify all of this and then get people in line of this, groom people, grow people, encourage this. And another thing is deploying strategies and ensuring that these strategies that can help. I meant, when I say strategies now, strategies that can help people easily embrace some of these new developments. And again, what are the roles of HR when it comes to this? During the last question, right, there was something something came to my mind that I want to tie into this. I was asking, what do we do with the result of our exit interviews or exit charts, the results of our surveys that we do? How can we get insights into what direction the business should go? Can we get insight into what direction we should go if we want to continue growing? There are quite a number of things that we can look at through these lenses. And again, what can HR do? What can be our roles? What can be our responsibilities if we want to keep moving on? We want to ensure that we define our roadmap. Where are we going as a business? Are we communicating this correctly to people? Someone had mentioned earlier, if people understand what they're going to gain and where you're going, it becomes easy for them to go with you. Let's ensure that we have the communication lines open. Clearly communicate things, building a future that people can see themselves in. The result of what people are saying might actually be a direction that we can lead them through. And so I'm saying it, I think the final note, I would say, listening to the people, understanding how what the business wants to do align with what the people are yearning for, and then lead them in that, create strategies in line with that and lead them in that direction. That might, of course, help a business. And I'm talking from where I sit. There are a number of things that we're rolling out as a business, there are a number of things we're doing, and we are asking people, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? We are telling you, this is what this will do for you. What do you think about it? And then we build our strategies around what we want to do and how the people really think it will benefit them. And that will be all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tunji. Tolu, please, very quickly.
Tunji has said a lot. I'll also say that you must have a vision. And when you have the right vision, and you are driving that vision, and you carry everybody along with that vision, they are the buy-in. It makes it it makes it very important, and then you are able to go the long way. HR also has to be a strategic partner to digital transformation. You have to collaborate with every other department, the IT, the information security department, the compliance, the regulatory departments, and all that. So for us to be able to all work together as one and ensure that the vision is driven and we're able to achieve our goals. Of course, everybody has talked about being customer-centric, employee-centric as well. If you carry your employees along with you, then you're able to deliver on your set goals. Giving the employee experience is very crucial. From the time of onboarding, or in fact, from selection to recruitment to onboarding, to the exit of that employee, they become an advocate for you. So when you give them the right employee experience all through their life cycle in the organization, then I'm sure the organization would be better off for it. So just to summarize that, since time is of essence here.
Thank you so much. BC, do you have anything to share?
No, I just love how everybody has summarized it very neatly. I love talking about what are we doing with the surveys. I feel like surveys are wonderful opportunities for us to create our next year focus. And then when TDP also mentioned, Tolu Peters also mentioned the exit. I think a lot of HR practitioners think that once people have gone, their work there is done. But I find that alumni are very big advocates, and they are very big sources of even referrals or even for that talent. And there are even people that can still come back into the fold. You don't know. So it's also ensuring that even the aftercare experience, when people ask you for references, pension, administration, whatever it is, ensuring that those interactions as well remain positive, and that way people continue to grow with you and grow from you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Kule, is Kule still there? Kule, you still here with us?
I'm with you. Okay, I'm still here. All right, good. Let me quickly add to this. It's a very good question. So I think I'll just maybe compartmentalize what the role is into maybe like 3. It's all about driving the growth. Secondly, customer satisfaction and that efficiency. That's the next thing. That's the role of HR because we've been talking about the C-suites that we don't have a seat there. This is the opportunity again to prove a point. But are we taking that opportunity? Are we seizing that opportunity? That's in our hands. So the HR that we're looking at in the future as in a role, because we're critical to the next line. Because if you look at it, number one, nothing happens without the employee. First, HR plays a critical role in getting the type of employee, the quality of the employee. It depends on how the recruitment goes. How detailed are you in getting the bids? You just get on the right skill for the job, right job. It's a bit difficult, and that's why they say the scarcity of talent. So the thing about the next role, the HR for the future, it's how do we now build people with that agility that can easily adapt to the emerging technologies and the digital transformation. Because if you go back to COVID period, what COVID has taught us, the whole lesson from COVID is you need people who are agile, because you don't even know today we're discussing AI in this form. Before you wake up, we were talking AI and this thing, and all of a sudden we had DeepSeek, and everybody's saying, "Oh, what's DeepSeek?" And see the whole thing about the whole buzz about it. Before you wake up tomorrow, there's going to be something else. How prepared or how ready are your employees? So the role of HR is getting our employees ready for the next day, and that is being agile to latch onto the next change, and resilience also. So that's the role of HR.
Thank you so much. So much from you all. We really do appreciate the insights and your thoughts, as well as your expertise. We'll take one or two questions from the audience, and I have one here. It says, with the advent of digital tools in HR practice, does this put HR professionals at any risk in terms of job security? And I'll throw this to Uche, please. Do you want to help us to share your thoughts on this?
Okay, interesting question, because I think someone mentioned earlier as we were having this conversation that one of the challenges to adopting digital is people think all of these digital things, technology transformation is here to take my job. But we are saying this technology transformation, all of these tools, they're not here to take your job. So I don't think that any HR person or professional feels threatened. In fact, we're excited, and I think we had that around the table when we started in the morning, when we're talking about the impact of digital transformation. Everyone around the table was excited, talking about how it's made life easier. So we have embraced it. We have no fear that digital transformation is going to take our jobs. If anything, it's creating more work for HR to do, to see how we drive it down and embed it within the organization and make it a culture and help our people to embrace it to do better. Like Florence said, we have, Florence and I, and they say, and Vivian, we all have, Tolu as well. Okay. It's like all the ladies are wearing a pair of glasses here today, but it's helping us to see better. That is what digital is going to do for us. So we are excited. I am excited about it. Not afraid at all. There's a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of new roles that are emerging, even just because digital transformation is here. So we just need to get our people ready to grab those roles. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tunji, do you want to share something? Is Tunji there? Okay. Tolu, please share something. Very quickly.
Okay.
Oh, Tunji has come up. Okay. Tunji,
Sorry,
do you want to share something?
Yes, sorry, please come with the question. I had a little glitch with my network.
Say something before you. Okay, go ahead. Yes, you cannot overemphasize human touch. You need that interaction. The tools are not going to work by themselves. You need to be there. So, and we're a social being. We need connection. So there is no way that the tools will come and take over our jobs. There has to be someone driving those tools and working those tools and directing enhance efficiency and ensuring that at the end of the day, there's innovation, there's transformation, and then there's profitability for each and for the organization at the end of the day. So that human touch, you cannot take it away. So our jobs will still be very secure at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. I totally agree. All right, Tunji, you want to share something very quickly?
Okay. I think I got the question that if technology will take jobs away from HR, is that?
Yes, so I said with the
question?
advent, yes,
Okay.
someone from the audience has said, with the advent of this digital tools, right, in HR practice, how does their profession affect job security? Would it take their jobs away?
Okay. So, okay, right. Imagine having a robot that you just put here to mark attendance without giving it the instructions that you need to give to it to do. Of course, it won't work. So I do not think technology will take anything away from us. As a matter of fact, I think it will propel us to want to grow further. It will propel us to want to gain more, to learn more, so that, of course, we can use these tools to get our jobs done easily. I think today, compared to what we had seen in the past, our works are easier today. They will be a lot more easier in future if these things come up. Technology grows, and then we move with them. So I don't think we'll lose jobs. I think we'll even be better skilled to manage larger workforce, or whatever the category of workforce is. We'll just be better equipped to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. We try to wrap up very quickly. And as you all know, we've gotten quite a number of insights from all the questions that has been thrown at us. Just to have a quick recap, so that our audience also can learn the immense potential that digital transformation holds for the banking sector, particularly in enhancing HR processes and developing a workforce that is adaptable, skilled, and ready for the future. From the critical role of data security to the importance of continuous upskilling, it's clear that the evolution of HR in this industry is essential in staying competitive in today's fast-paced, tech-driven world. And HR professionals will continue to innovate, whether you like it or not. You have to adapt, and we have to ensure that workforce is equipped to embrace these changes, whilst also fostering a culture that prioritizes engagement, well-being, which is quite important. Tolu had talked about it, quite a number of times, and growth. We are not just managing the workforce for today, but shaping the workforce for tomorrow. So would like to round off very quickly, and we want to say a very big thank you to all our esteemed panelists. You've taken our time to be with us today and sharing your expertise and insights on this topic. And a very big thank you to our audience for joining us, participating actively. You've made our discussions very vital and impactful. And before we finally wrap up, we'd like to give each panelist a minute or two, for your final thoughts, please. Uche, please. Final thoughts, very quickly.
Well, I think a lot has been said. I'm going away with the thoughts that digital transformation is here to stay. More of it will evolve, and we must all embrace it. And HR practitioners have to do their bit, to get our organizations future ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Tunji?
All right, thank you. Yes, just like Uche had mentioned, it's here to stay. We have not even seen the best of technology in HR, I will tell you. There are many more things to come. And I think as HR practitioners, we should be ready to embrace this, because it will make our work easier and make us more effective. Thank you so very much.
Florence?
Thank you, Vivian. From my end, I would like to close by saying that digital transformation is not just about technology, it is about the people. And so as HR leaders, we must ensure that digital adoption in banking enhances both efficiency for the employee well-being. Thank you.
Thank you. BC?
I think that for me, the takeaway from digital transformation is that people should see it as an opportunity to expand capacity. with technology, there's no limit to what we can do and how we can do it. So the more technology that comes into play in your field, be on top of it so that you're ensuring that you're able to participate in the new world order. That's for me.
Thank you. Tolu.
Okay, digital transformation has come to stay. It's expected that it will bring promises of higher productivity, economic growth, increased efficiency, safety, and convenience. Jacob Morgan actually made a quote: "Late adopters are out of business." So we must embrace it, we must run with it, and we must ensure that we flow with it as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kunle.
All right, thank you. I think for me, I'd just like to round up by saying that, well, digital transformation is here to stay, and you must live and breathe digital transformation. You must embrace it. Yes, can we take a job? Oh, yes, you can take that job, but that depends on you. If you don't keep an open eye up and doing, know the connecting dots, and then the whole of it, know how it connects to the business. If once we can connect the dots, we'll be fine. So live and breathe AI.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming up on this program. We really do appreciate. I'm just going to ask one more question to finish off the panel, and this is aside from all the questions that I've asked. So please, I'll just stray very quickly to everyone. Florence, if you were a student in the university, what's one language you wish you had learned so that everyone in the audience might think about learning? Very quickly.
In Nigerian language, then
Any
it'll be
language.
Hausa.
Any
In
language.
Nigerian language, then it'll be Hausa.
Oh, perfect. What about
Yes.
you? BC, what language?
Igbo.
Wow. Tell me, Tolulope, what about you?
I would like to speak French. So
Perfect. Kunle, what about you?
I'll do the natural language, AI programming language.
Wow.
Just joking, actually. Just joking. I think I'm actually interested in maybe Hausa then French. Those two languages actually.
Okay, perfect. Tunji?
Hausa language.
Wow, Hausa is
Hausa.
in the lead.
That's what is leading.
Wow, okay. And Uche?
And I would say Spanish,
Perfect.
Spanish, yeah.
Great, great. And one last one. If you were to have lunch with a celebrity from Hollywood, who would it be? Tell me, Uche.
From Hollywood, why not Nollywood?
Hollywood.
I don't know, honestly. I'm not so much into them, really.
Okay, give us for
Please let me
Give us for
answer.
Nollywood.
Okay.
Sorry?
I don't actually have an answer. I just want to say Aaron, Pierre, that's Professor.
Who's that?
Wow.
Who's that?
Don't know that person.
Hollywood.
So
Who's
let
that?
me pass on this. I'm not particularly.
Okay.
Maybe Richard Gere. Perfect.
Right. That's what you're talking.
Yeah.
Ah, great.
He's a romantic, and I'm one. So.
Great. I like that. Off the record. Okay, Tolu, you're going to say something.
no, I was just thinking off the top of my head. I'm not sure I have any favorites. So really, maybe maybe not an actress, but she's acted. What's her name now? Oprah.
Okay, that's good. She's a Nollywood actor, whether you're actress, whether you want to believe
exactly.
it or not.
So maybe
Yeah.
Oprah.
Florence.
Mine would be Brad Pitt.
That's the same as mine. Wow. Great. Okay, BC, you were saying something.
I was only joking. I was saying Aaron Pierre because I just like the Aaron Pierre. That's what fascinates. That was just my joke.
Okay. And what about you, Kunle?
Well, that would be Morgan Freeman.
Oh, great, Morgan Freeman. And last but not the least, Tunji.
And that will be Jason Statham.
Oh, beautiful. Lovely, lovely. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for joining us. With that, we'll come to the end of today's panel. Thank you so very much and have a lovely day, everyone.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
day,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, then. Bye. Bye.
Bye.